we doing today? I'm Evan Kahn.
And I'm Rylan Clarkson.
We will be your host today, and this is TC Talks.
The podcast where we talk to TC and TC talks back.
So how are we doing today?
Doing good.
That's good. Good to hear. We have our two guests with us, Nane and Cyprian. How are we doing?
Good.
Good. Guys, introduce yourselves. Tell us a little bit about yourselves and.
I'm Nana. I'm an exchange student from Armenia. I'm here with Flex, which is an exchange program, and my placement organization is ASSE. And yeah, I'm here for like almost 8 months.
Nice.
I'm Cyprian. I'm from Belgium. So my program is web, but here it's called IUSA because they work together. And I'm here for like the full year. So after graduation, I'm leaving.
So, just getting into this, compared to your home country, how is music and music education different here in America?
It's pretty different because we don't have music education in high school if we're not going to a particular high school that has the branch for music. Our music education stops at like 7th grade.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, I was really happy when I got to join choir this year.
Yeah, in Belgium we don't really have music education.
Mm-hmm.
Like the only thing that can teach you music is really if you take like lessons outside of school.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's more of like an own personal pursuit.
Yeah.
In your case.
Yeah.
And for you, Nane, is it more of like an elective type thing for higher schooling or?
Especially for middle schools, we don't have elective classes, so all of the classes are ones that the government requires you to take.
So it's like our core classes here.
Yeah.
Cool.
So if you wanted to pursue, like if you were living in Armenia and you didn't come to America, if you wanted to pursue an education in music, you would have to go to a certain high school for that had that education program?
I had to, but I also could go to a different musical school, so I could go to high school and the musical school.
Okay.
Which I did when I was in elementary school. I was going to violin and then piano.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, for most of the high schoolers, it's like you do both after school or like before school, depends on when your school starts.
Okay.
And for you, Cyprian, it's like you said, a more outside of school lessons.
It's like your parents put you in like when you're young. Usually, it's like your parents choose that you're gonna do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you don't like it, then you just stop. But if you really like want to pursue that, people go like into a conservatoire. I don't know if you
Conservatory, like a music conservatory here. Yeah.
You go there and just continue learning, but if usually it's very rare. It's not a lot of people do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of how I did. My parents wanted me to start violin, and it did, like learning it. I love listening to it, but I don't like it's not my thing.
Yeah.
And I switched to piano, and after piano, I started learning guitar.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah.
So what kind of like arts are you doing here? Like what classes, what things that interest you that you want to do here?
I'm in an advanced art class with Mr. Schmitz,
Okay.
and I'm really happy and I really appreciate that he let me join the class because I've never done any art classes in Columbian, and here you have to get an invitation to join an advanced art class, but that was the only class in my schedule that I could switch my study hall to, so he let me join the class and I really appreciate it and I love it. I'm also in the crew in musical. I'm doing props in there, and I'm also in choir.
Nice. And you, Cyprian?
So I'm in ceramics.
Okay.
Yeah. I took ceramics 1 and I took ceramics 2 because it was just so fun. So yeah, it's very nice. And I'm in the musical as the cast in the cast. Yeah. And that's it. And choir. Yeah.
So, talking about more like the physical art aspect, is it the same way at your home school that where like art is more of a like you have to go out and pursue that outside of school, or you have to go to a certain school for that?
It depends. Arts, they're also like the music, so we stop at 7th grade. Well, we do it in 7th grade and then we stop. But art schools, like, they're not really art schools. They're like something like an extracurricular activity outside of school. So we have a lot of those, and a lot of kids go to those. But you can also go to a high school that has an art branch in it.
Yeah. So we have art. Well, in my high school we had art, but in my like middle school we didn't have art, and it's like very limited. Like we operate like with system of every day is different.
Okay.
Like it's not here. Like here is like every day is the same.
Yeah.
Day. It's like one day you have maybe more math, more science.
Oh.
One day you have like sport. One day you don't have.
Okay.
Yeah. And for example, Wednesday we don't have the full day. We stop at like 12.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
So like a half day.
Yeah, it's a half day.
Okay.
Is it kind of like how it?
At the middle school.
I was saying
Yeah,
middle school
blue-
and our elementary schools
Blue
even.
and gold days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a day that usually you have extra activities after school.
Okay.
So yeah.
Okay.
But in my high school we had like 2 hour. You could take 2 hours of art every
Oh
week.
wow.
But that's very small. Like it's
Yeah.
like one of the smallest class. But if you wanted to take more, then there's like specialized schools again.
Okay.
That's like you can take art.
Yeah.
I wish we had a half day.
Yeah. So did either of you two take any form of art class outside of like for 7th grade or extracurricular at your homeschool?
Go ahead.
No, I didn't really like art.
Yeah.
So yeah, it wasn't really my stuff.
I was doing painting for a while. I stopped it because I was also doing dance and my schedules were overlapping.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Okay.
I was doing painting for like a few years.
Okay. So coming back to the musical a little bit, what made you guys want to join the musical?
I have a love for theater from my childhood. My uncle is a scriptwriter, so I was in theater from when I was a kid, and I don't like being on the stage. That's not my thing. But
Yeah.
I love to work in the theater, so I'm doing props.
You like more of like the background that makes it happen.
Yeah.
Not the full execution, but you make it happen so they can go out and do it. Okay.
Yeah, I was just doing it for the fun.
Yeah.
I like,
Funsies.
yeah, and like I'm with my friends, it's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like in middle school we had like every 2 years, like we had like a like it's not really a musical, but it was more like multiple piece of like theater
Yeah.
put together
Yeah.
that put like a story,
Yeah. Okay.
and that has like a theme that just like links
Yeah.
everything together, and I was like inside each of them because
Yeah.
we didn't really have a choice.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it was like just fun times, and
Yeah.
We actually had those in middle school too. Actually, we had those in high school too. It's just like small performances that
Yeah.
you're doing during a certain theme. Like we were doing a class about an author, and we did like a small performance for the school about his life and like his writings. So
So,
Okay.
so it's kind of like a mini play
Yeah.
in a way.
So those performances you do, those are in like Armenian and Belgian, right? You don't do a whole lot of like English performances there.
no.
No. But you did say that you start learning English in at least your school in the 2nd grade.
Third.
3rd grade?
Okay. Yeah, I started learning Russian in 2nd grade.
Okay.
And I started English in 3rd.
Okay. And then Cyprian, is English like something that is like something you could take at your school, but it's not mandatory?
no, it's mandatory.
Okay.
It's kind of the same thing, 2nd grade, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But so it's very like a very small portion because
Yeah.
so in Belgium the main languages, like the national language, is French, Dutch, and German.
Mm-hmm.
So we had like Dutch lessons because
Yeah.
my French was the language you speak like at home. So
Yeah,
you
the
don't really
primary-
need,
yeah.
you don't need really like
Yeah.
lessons except of course for grammars and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so English was very small compared to Dutch.
Okay.
But in high school, you can take more English.
Yeah.
Some people didn't take English, but
Mhm.
it reflects a lot when you don't take English
Yeah.
in high school.
Yeah.
Do you guys have like here? We have Mandarin and Spanish classes here too. Do you guys have more than like for you? Like you said, you have Dutch. You speak French, like that's the native language, and German you can take. Do you have other languages you can take, and does that apply for you as well, Nane?
Um, we some school have Spanish, some school have Chinese. We only had German,
Okay.
and we had like Latin and Greek, but that's not really like
Yeah,
languages that we
that's
speak.
more.
That's really
yeah.
cool though.
The
It's
study.
more-
It's
yeah,
for
it's-
just study purposes.
Yeah, it's really like just
Yeah.
to like know the ancient Greek
Yeah.
language and Latin language.
Yeah.
But that's kind of was the only language we learned.
For me, it depends on the high school. So but all of the high schools do the Russian and the English because Armenian is not an international language, so it's really hard to not know a different
Yeah.
language. Because like even when you're watching a movie, there's like no Armenian translations or they're really bad.
Mhm.
So like you have to know a different language for that. My school started teaching French from 5th grade, but I was already in 6th grade, so it didn't apply to me. I
okay,
didn't
yeah.
get to learn it. There are high schools that have German too.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much the languages that we have.
So in, I guess a more like normal or more typical like American high school setting, usually there's 3 languages that they teach, just normally as a normal elective, which would be Spanish, German, and French. Here we have Spanish and Chinese. But so like my freshman year, I went to a high school in Indiana, and I took German because we had 4 years of German, and our teacher, Tomel, he actually lived in Germany. He studied in Germany, so he was from the States, but he went and lived there and studied there at a German college and like learned the language and learned the culture. Because like you guys are really good at this, but you learn proper English probably in your guys' schools, but you guys are good with like street English. Like proper English is like what like the British, speak a lot of that with the proper like grammar and
colonial
stuff.
English?
Yeah, but you guys are really good with like that, like street like American English, like that like the more like
Slang.
casual
Yeah,
English.
yeah.
Yeah.
With like more slang terms thrown in there.
Mhm.
And
I was pretty bad at it when I got here.
Yeah.
Like, we learned the British English. I also had like extra English classes that
Mhm.
were American English.
Yeah.
But when I got here, I was like really confused about all of the slang terms. Like
Yeah.
one of my
especially
friends
talking
was-
to me.
one of my friends was calling me a goat. I thought she was
Yeah.
calling me the animal.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
You're like what?
So
Yeah.
I say because I know
Yeah.
when we first started to get like close and actually started talking. I know at first it was, on both of our parts, it was hard to understand each other. But now it's like, what I'm talking about. I know what you're saying. It's all good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so you guys just like learn through conversation.
Yeah.
And I found that was really weird when I took German, because that's the only English, like the only other language class I ever took was just 1 year of German, and like we would like learn this proper German in class, and then I'd go and like either talk to someone who spoke fluent German or watch something that was in German, and I understood it, but there was words in there that like I'm like that just doesn't make sense to me, because they're more like colloquial terms in Germany or in that part of Europe. So I didn't really understand that because I didn't have the experience that you two get, like talking to people who grew up with English being their first and only language.
I never actually realized that Armenian has those terms too before I got
Yeah.
here. Because, like, we have some weird expressions that,
Mhm.
like, if you translate it, it sounds
yeah,
really
yeah.
weird.
Yeah.
Like, we have an expression that says, "Tavatanam," which
Mhm.
means kind of like darling,
Yeah.
and it means I take your pain when you
Yeah.
translate it directly.
Yeah.
It sounds really weird, but, like, that's an expression that we use all the time.
Yeah, so like, and the same things in German, like, when you tell someone thank you as Danke schön, but translating that literally, it's thank beautiful, like, or when you say that I'm hungry, it's ich habe Hunger, so that literally translates to I have hunger, so it's
Yeah,
it's not a literal, it's some of these like European languages specifically don't have literal translations into English, but they get the point across in a similar way, but it just wouldn't make sense to an English speaker if you literally said it.
Yeah.
You know?
It's like with Spanish. Like if they say like that car is red, they'll say red and then the car.
Yeah, they'll like the way a lot of European languages work is they have gendered pronouns. Like we have that here too, but it's a little different. Like he and she, gendered pronouns, but like words have genders. There's like female, male, neuter, and then there's I think they're prepositions. It's been a long time since I've taken an English different language, but there's like prepositions and different modifiers that you add to words. Like in German, I think there's like 6 different ways to say one. So there's like ein there, einest, something like that. But there's like 6 different ways to say a word, but they all have their certain context. And in English, there's just like one, or like a or an. But it's like 3 different ways to say one thing instead of 6.
Armenian doesn't have the like. We have one pronoun.
Yeah.
Actually, in Old Armenian there were 2 pronouns, and they formed my name. So na means he and ne means she. So my name means he she.
Okay.
But yeah, the verbs don't have those. Russian has those, so
Yeah.
like the endings. But yeah, Armenian is pretty good about it.
And
Yeah, in French we have the pronouns, like everything has a gender.
Mhm.
For example, the table is female,
mhm.
but like a desk would be male.
Yeah.
I don't really know how it
Yeah.
happens.
Yeah.
How that correlates.
It's
but-
just like I don't even like know like a pronoun. I
Mhm.
like I just feel it, you know.
Yeah, you just know it. It's
yeah,
just
I
like
just
that's
like
how it
if
is.
it's even if it's a word I never saw before, I was like, that's a he.
Yeah.
I don't know
It's
how it just happens.
Yeah.
It's like with both here. Like that's a she.
Yeah. So, were you guys nervous at all coming to? Well, obviously you guys were nervous, but like, what were you nervous about coming here to the States?
I was really nervous about my English.
Yeah.
Because, well, in school, my English was pretty good, but when I'm, like, talking to people whose language is English, and, like, it was just... I kind of feel like Americans were speaking too fast for me.
Yeah.
Like, sometimes I'm just, slow down. Like,
Yeah.
I don't get
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
And sometimes when I just got here, I had to repeat myself a few times because of my accent.
Yeah.
Or, like, I had to ask people to repeat themselves. There were times when I was like, I made them repeat it a few times, and then I was like, I didn't get it, but yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, I
All
do
right.
that sometimes. No, but so what I was more afraid of was just like meeting people,
Yeah.
because I knew my English was pretty good because I watched a lot of stuff in English
Yeah.
and stuff. That's the way I learned most of my English. But so my sister went here, well, not in Ohio, but in California 4 years ago, and English student too. And like we had some conversation in English, and she was like, "Oh yeah,
Yeah.
you just have an English accent, but that's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
That's the
yeah.
only thing you have." And yeah, that's the only thing was really meeting people because like in Belgium, I wasn't like a guy that really spoke to a lot of people. Like,
Yeah.
I have literally like 5 friends in Belgium, so
Yeah.
I was like kind of scared about that. But right now I know lots of people, and that's like completely different from Belgium. Like, everyone's just so friendly.
Yeah.
I was not concerned about getting friends. I'm pretty good at it.
That's a whole
And,
good
like,
idea.
yeah, my program actually gives you tips for getting friends.
Yeah.
So like for
Okay.
example, they were telling us to join a sport. I'm not a sport person.
Yeah.
So I chose golf. It's not like there's not a lot of running and
Yeah,
physical
yeah.
activities, and I loved it. It was really fun. We don't really have golf in Armenia,
Yeah.
so I mean we do golf. We have golf courses, but you
Yeah.
know like they're like how for rich people.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I really enjoyed it. I got first group of my friends was like from golf.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I was pretty chill about getting friends.
I mean, I didn't join any like sports, and I mean like I do just fine, but the people told me it's just become a yes man just like saying yes to everything someone tells
Yeah.
me. Like
That's
like,
dangerous.
no,
That's
no,
very
no,
dangerous.
Okay, no, okay.
Especially in
like,
America.
Yeah.
no, maybe like what I'm saying is like, oh, you want to go do this?
Yeah.
It's like,
Take
oh yeah,
risks.
for sure,
Yeah,
of
Take-
course I want to do that.
Yes.
You know, like just to
Yeah.
meet new people.
Yeah,
Like
take risks and
yeah,
do
like
all
just, like get out of your comfort zone.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much what my program was telling me when I was getting here. One of my representatives told me that if you're laying in your room and you realize that you're not doing anything, just go to your living room and talk to your host parents,
Yeah.
or like call one of your friends and go out to
Yeah.
walk.
So here, especially in Ohio, to even narrow it down to North Tiffin, we're a small town.
Mm-hmm.
We're not very big, but we're not. We're a pretty small town. How is that compared to like your guys' hometowns and like home cities? Because I don't really. Because like here we have like states, and then within those states we have cities and counties. Is it kind of like the same, or is it more?
So Armenia is really small compared to Ohio. It's like 3 times smaller than Ohio. So, we have like regions,
Mm-hmm.
and my city was the center of our region.
Okay.
So it's a little bigger than Tiffin. It's not really big.
Yeah.
It's the third biggest city in Armenia.
Okay.
So, the differences were here everything is just like really spread out. So
Mhm.
like if you want to go somewhere, you really need a car,
Yeah.
and there is no public transportation at all.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, you guys have taxi services, but they're like.
I would
expensive.
not trust the
Yeah, no.
city
Yeah.
cabs.
You
So-
might catch some from those.
Yeah.
So we have public transportation, and you can go to every single point of the city with
Mhm.
those, and taxi is pretty cheap too
Yeah.
compared to here.
Yeah.
So that's something that was really problematic for me, because like if I want
Yeah.
to go somewhere, I have to find a ride.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like so. Belgium is even smaller than Armenia.
Mhm.
Like I think you could put, like,
Really?
you can.
Yeah.
I think you can put like 15 Belgium in just Ohio.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very small. So like public transportation is like a huge thing. Just like the train, for example.
Mhm.
You can take a train to multiple countries. Like
Yeah.
in 5 hours you can be in 2 countries different. Like you can
Really?
like pass 2 countries from Belgium. Yeah. In just a day you can be from like the northern points of Belgium to the southern point. It's very easy to just move
Yeah.
across Belgium. So like it's not really like one like here you have your city and you don't people really don't move from it. It's more like Belgium is one big city already.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like except those little like villages, you know, where like
Mhm.
lots of people like with like fields around it.
Mm-hmm.
Like everything is connected. So you can just take the train to go to, I don't know, you want to go to the beach, take the train, 2 hours later you're at the beach.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I kind of feel like here people drive to like the nearest cities more than we do in Armenia.
Yeah.
But yeah, Armenia is really small, so like I can get to the next country to us, which is Georgia, in 2 hours.
Okay.
So
Is
pretty-
so in your guys' home country, is driving as big of a thing? I know you said that not a lot of people drive, but like here when you're 16, that's like the thing to do is get your license and get a car. Is that at all a thing?
you can't get license when you're 16 in
Yeah.
Armenia. So you can get license and a car when you're 18.
Okay.
So, and it's not really huge for teenagers because again we have public
Yeah.
transportation, like so you don't need a car as much as you do here.
Mhm.
But I feel like in past few years cars became more popular than they were before.
Yeah, in Belgium when you're 16, it's not driving because it's 18 like in Armenia.
Yeah.
But it's more drinking.
Here, I know, especially in Ohio, we have some bigger cities. We have like Toledo, we have like Cincy, and we have like
Mhm.
Columbus. But other than that, those are really the only cities with like public transportation, other than like an Uber or a taxi.
Yeah, it's like city transportation.
Yeah. Because to me, when I go to Toledo, that's like a foreign world to me. Because I'm so used to being here all the time,
Mhm.
and when I see buses, that's weird. And
Yeah.
like I know you guys both said like you guys have trains, you guys have like buses, right? You guys have,
Yeah.
and you know you got stuff like that. Is it weird to not see that in Tiffin?
I was I went to Chicago and I saw a bus stop and I was so excited. About
Yeah.
it. I was like, oh my
Yeah.
god, there's public transportation.
It's like, I know what this is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just to wrap this all up, for anyone who's gonna come to Columbian as a foreign exchange student, because that's kind of one of our audiences that we're trying to reach, is someone who's coming to Columbian, not only as like a 8th grader or a transfer student from a different school, but also like foreign exchange students, because we're one of the like only high schools in the area that
Yeah.
really has a program like this where we allow like multiple exchange students a year. Do you guys have like any like words of advice or anything you'd want to tell them?
I would tell them to join arts because you get a lot of friends when you're joining arts. I'm really grateful that I joined the choir.
Mhm.
I have a lot of friends from there. Everyone is really nice. But I would say to students in Columbian to host an exchange student to
Yeah.
talk to their parents because our program has a lot of problems after COVID for that.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of families, so they really need families.
Yeah.
So if you're
I-
interested in that, contact me.
I think every program needs more family to host people, and the tip I will give is just really go out your comfort zone. Like, don't be scared of people because surprisingly they're very nice here.
Be cautious.
Be cautious of some people though.
Yeah.
Some people are nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
some people be careful. Like most people are
Yeah.
pretty nice.
Well,
All right.
awesome. Thanks for coming on today. We really
Thanks
appreciate
for
it.
inviting us.
For showing interest in everything.
Mhm.
So I'm Emin Khan.
Rylan Clarkson has been our guests, Nane and Cyprian,
This is TC Talks.
and we're out.